So one of the biggest events of the year is tomorrow. Yeah, I know, it's early, it's only February, but it's Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, whether you're for the Baltimore Ravens or the San Francisco 49ers, or could give a damn less about either of them, there is one thing that always enters into the popular culture tongue right around this time, and that's the Super Bowl halftime show. Now, for a long time, the Super Bowl halftime show was kind of traditionalistic, something that you see typically at maybe a high school or college football game, where you have different bands and ensembles from across the country swooping in order to put on a performance during the halftime show. Something kind of nice for the fans, considering marching bands and any sort of grouping of that variety had been widely popularized for quite some time at that point, and it was something that was traditionally implemented in the football games. However, ever since the first part of the 1990s, with Michael Jackson's performance at the halftime show spiking ratings through the roof to the point where it was higher than the game itself, well, ever since then, Hollywood and the NFL have certainly been merging and kind of been in bed together, definitely getting a lot of different pop and rock icons in order to perform this legendary event. Now, we've had many different occurrences, from the famous wardrobe malfunction between Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson to last year's middle finger fiasco from M.I.A. whenever she performed with Nicki Minaj and Madonna. The question is that, well, this year it's going to be Beyonce, and, well, after the years of the wardrobe malfunction, we saw at least a little bit of an interpretation of rock being implemented in here. I mean, we had bands such as the Rolling Stones and the Who, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Bruce Springsteen, you know, legendary groups of that variety that came in and did their thing for the halftime show, including Paul McCartney. It's almost like they decided to revert back to the whole pop idea, and well, last year's show was a fucking calamity. It was a goddamn disaster. Madonna just, well, she's showing her age. And Nicki Minaj is just wretched, as we all know, considering she's number 2 on my top 10 worst current musicians. And M.I.A., she's been M.I.A. ever since. That was basically her 15 seconds of negative fame. So now they're going with Beyonce. And of course, we all know what's going to happen. Beyonce is probably going to be joined by, you know, Jay-Z, maybe her new baby for that heartwarming moment, maybe even have Destiny's Child come back since they're back together. Yeah, that's some perfect fucking timing. Beyonce's about to do the halftime show, and Destiny's Child's all of a sudden back together. All of a sudden, everything's cool between Destiny's Child. Oh, I wonder if there's a reason behind that. I certainly think so. Let me tell you something, the Super Bowl halftime show, to me at least, is starting to turn into bullshit again. Back whenever it was a little bit more rock-based, and even whenever you had guys such as U2 and Michael Jackson doing the show, it definitely had a lot of character behind it, because these were icons that not only were making their presence felt, but they were able to incorporate different ideas into the show itself. If you remember, Michael Jackson actually showcased himself being transported into the crowd and into the arena by appearing magically on the Jumbotron, and they used a bunch of different technology. That way he would appear in different locations before appearing right there on the stage. They used a lot of ingenuity for that. U2 was used right after 9/11, which is, well, I'm impressed that they actually went with U2. I understand that U2 definitely stands for something, but it's one of those things where you almost expected it to be some sort of pop song or diva or country song, you know, the song that was all the rage about, you know, where were you on September 11th? You'd almost expect that to be there, but I guess they were going for a little bit more of a redemptive ideal. But let's face it, whenever it comes to the past couple of years, it's just been terrible. The Black Eyed Peas were here 2 years ago doing a bunch of crap, and that was pretty bad. You know, we are right now to the point in time where they're getting back into the whole pop scene idea, and I think this is something that's going to be here to stay, considering the ratings were certainly huge last year. For some strange godforsaken reason, 3 more million people tuned in to Madonna, aging Madonna, with Nicki Minaj and M.I.A. than they did with, you know, the actual game. Yeah, this not only retained the core people that were already watching the game, it brought other people in. Well, who the hell's going to be next? Are we going to have Justin Bieber next year? Are we going to have Cher Lloyd in 2015? Is 2016 going to be One Fucking Direction, along with a sidecar of the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, New Kids on the Block, 98 fucking Degrees, The Wanted, and every other goddamn tap-dancing, toe-tapping piece of shit that they can find? Listen, this is bullshit. You don't need something like that for football. Football's all about, you know, the gridiron. It's all about being a badass. It's all about going out and hitting people and, you know, scoring touchdowns. You'd almost expect more rap. Yeah, I know Nicki Minaj's rap. don't get me wrong. But you're expecting something a little more hardcore. Maybe some T.I. Maybe some, I don't know, B.O.B. I know it all sucks. I know it's all generic. I'm just pulling names out of a hat. But that's what you'd expect. Or maybe some rock. Maybe some goddamn metal. Have Metallica do it. Have AC/DC come back and do a halftime show. I don't know. For all we know, have the fucking Misfits do it. The Misfits could dress up in fucking football gear. They'd look fucking ridiculous, but it'd be better than this shit. I don't want to see Beyonce. I barely want to watch this game in the first place, but I'll do it. And I really don't want to watch this halftime show, but I'm also going to do it. You know why? Because some stupid shit's bound to go down, and I'm going to be all over this nonsense. You bet your ass I am. So if you see a random video from me tomorrow night talking about some stupid ass thing that happened, well, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. But we really need a revolution whenever it comes to the Super Bowl halftime show. We need something that represents the game a lot better than a bunch of prissy dancing around bullshit. I understand that there's cheerleaders. Have them put on a show. If you want somebody skimpy and scantily clad, well, Nicki Minaj was a pretty damn good choice last year. But Beyonce? Give me a goddamn break. Give me a fucking goddamn break. You're gonna hear from me tomorrow. You really are. But this is crap.